Hey, what's up guys? It is Mark Yoon, and today I'm bringing another hopefully exciting video. So what I got for you today is a continuation on the new lore series, that being the characters from Soul Calibur 6, their new timelines, their new stories, and everything that's affiliated with it. So yesterday we covered Kilik, and today I wanted to actually go over Seong Mina. She is another character who has not only been given a different goal, but she has also been given a different backstory. It's a similar backstory to her old backstory, just tweaked here and there, and I think overall her personality has stayed mainly the same. There's a little bit more quirkiness to her character now, whereas she was more duty-oriented back then. It seems she's more carefree and focused on training now, but we want to get into this straight away. So obviously her weapon that she uses is Naginta, and the weapon name is Scarlet Thunder. Her fighting style is the Song style longsword and staff techniques. Her relationships, her father is Song Mina, and her mother and brother were taken by illness. And her senior is Hwang Song-gyung, who obviously we should be seeing after Setsuka, but Hwang Song-gyung is probably my favorite character in the entire series, so that's one of the reasons why I wanted to cover this. Now, Seong Mina is a character, obviously, that's new to the Soul Calibur franchise, like everyone else, because this is a reboot. So this is making her appearance and her new rebooted timeline or new form, and she is nicknamed Daughter of the Bladed Rod. Seong Mina could cope with being called a fake boy, but this was a step too far. Hanmyeong, her father and master of the dojo where she trained, which it's not called dojo in Korea, so I don't know why they say dojo, but whatever, was searching for a marriage suitor for her. "You don't have to give a damn how I feel," she raged. As Hwang, who was like a brother to her, well, it wouldn't have killed him to be more understanding either. Though he'd only just arrived and met his master Hanmyeong, Hwang Song-gyung decided not to stick around. To Seong Mina, running away from home was starting to seem more and more like an attractive idea. Thanks to Hwang, Mina escaped from battle with her life intact. Granted, the idea of returning home with her tail between her legs riled her, but he could hardly complain given how much she owed the man. And at least it proved how he cared about her. Harboring all manner of ambivalent feelings, Mina arrived home only to be met with a surprise. While she was away, her father had not given up trying to find her a suitor. Though unable to hide her shock, Mina had at least learned how to control her anger. After all, it was her father who was doing what he felt was best for her. For the time being, she decided to keep her opinions to herself. Did this mean that she had gone and done some maturing on her journey after all? Now, in her Soul Chronicle, they give a little bit more detail into this backstory, so I want to go over that as well. During her quest for Soul Edge, Seong Mina encountered Ivy, who easily insulted her for her lack of knowledge of the sword's evil nature. Enraged and also being called a child, Seong Mina fought Ivy but was soundly defeated. Despite showing resilience, she could not get a rematch as Ivy left on her own journey. And we've seen a lot more of that going into that, but now I want to get into her Libra of Souls part, because she does play a role in Libra of Souls if you guys have not played that, which I know a lot of people haven't, so we should cover that as well. Seong Mina came across the Conduit, being us, our created character in Libra, and Grow, and insisted on following them. She seemingly backed down after she lost to the Conduit, but she later aided the pair. Dion and Natalie escaped from the Maltested's lair. Later, Seong Mina was being escorted back home by Hwang, when they were suddenly attacked by bandits. Before Hwang could tell her what to do, she ran off to reach their hideout and defeated them. Then, when Hwang and the Conduit were coming to rescue her, Seong Mina attacked the latter, thinking that they were a bandit's leader. After losing the fight, she was stopped by Hwang, and later found out that it was the Conduit that she had been fighting. Revealing that she planned to protect the country without Soul Edge, Seong Mina bid farewell to the Conduit, as she and Hwang headed for home. Seong Mina fought the Conduit again in a friendly sparring match when they came to visit her father's dojo, and later revealed that the morale and enthusiasm were low with the students. She then requested to help stir up the students by pretending to challenge them and take over the dojo. Seong Mina and the students lost, and she stirred them to get back to training. Obviously, from coming from a Japanese development team, they don't really know a lot about the Korean history, which we've covered before in a lengthy video, which I would implore you go and check out after this. But a dojo, or as it's called, a training school in Korean, is called a dojang. And it's just little differences between that stuff that makes you realize how little understanding of Korean practices and culture that the Japanese development team actually has. I'm not saying it's bad on them, but they should probably do some studying up if they have like over 3 Korean characters in their game, who are all ill-defined, by the way, which again, check out that video. But Seong Mina in this one is actually one of the characters who I think is less fun than she was before. I don't really want to get into like fun. It's more like her attitude and nature before was like all about protecting her country, which it is now, but she had a more studious attempt at it. Her approach was seriousness and focus, and while she did have fun and she met friends along the way, it was clear how serious and determined she was to protect her country and to protect her father and like protect her people. This whole like thing now with like her father trying to find her a suitor, like that's not really like a thing in Korean culture either. Like there's no like really arranged marriages. I don't like understand why that's even in there, but there's a little bit of like, I guess, like charm to it. Like her father wants her only daughter to be happy and not like be burdened by this, the same as Cassandra feels about Sophia. I just think it's a little kind of ridiculous that they would add that in there to her character. And then the fact later on that she decides just willy-nilly to give up the Soul Edge, which was like her main goal in the first place. I think it would have been better if she actually attained Soul Edge and found out that like she was starting to become Maltested or couldn't accomplish her goals with the sword itself, instead of just like kind of being like, oh, you know what, I don't need it, I'll just use my like regular staff. And she does dedicate a lot of time to training and helping, but they kind of show her off to be more of an airhead, whereas before she was more strong-willed and eager. So those are a few changes about the character that I kind of absolutely don't really like, but it is what it is, and maybe we'll see a character development shift or some kind of arc where she actually does develop those kind of past tense versions of herself into her new character. That would be nice to see. Perhaps maybe when Hwang becomes playable, we'll get some of that in his Soul Chronicle. All of this, of course, leading up to SOULCALIBUR 7, which would probably be the rewrite of SOULCALIBUR 4 and 5. And I don't know, I would also like to see her incorporate some more of her own country's fighting techniques into her style. Like, she does use long swords as well. So it'd be nice if there was maybe the staff could break off into 2 pieces and she can use it like 2 pieces, or well, she uses kind of a spear. It's like an executioner spear, which again, I don't know why she uses it. But I don't know, besides all that kind of like stuff that is kind of nitpicky for me, it's Seong Mina. She's always been one of my favorite characters. I guess a little bit less so in this iteration version than previously, but I still have an optimistic like hope that she can attain those same realizations in the future, and her character will develop even further than what it has thus far, because it hasn't been much in this game. It was nice seeing her help us a lot in Libra of Souls, and they did give us some better information in the Soul Chronicle about her, but all in all, it was one of the shorter ones, and her Libra of Souls was more of getting in the way of the main characters as opposed to actually helping them. She does help us, but it's inadvertently. It's not to her own behest. She doesn't really try to help. She just accidentally kind of does it, which again, I guess like goes against her old character for me. But this is a new timeline, so we have no really right to complain about that kind of stuff. But that was the video for today. Tell me what you would like to see her change or go through in the comment section down below, or are you content with the way that she is now? Have you played through Libra of Souls? Did you see all that stuff? We're also going to be going over more lore for the rest of the week, so I want to keep you informed about that. And like I said yesterday, we're going to be going into our Maltested series next week, and what that entails and the implications of that for SOULCALIBUR 7. So with that being said, guys, we're going to bring this video to a close. Thank you for watching. Please subscribe if you haven't already. I noticed that only 15% of my views come from actual subscribers. Maybe that's more a wrongdoing on my part, and I'll try better to get better. But I appreciate you all. And as always, thank you. Thick you. Hey, what's up, guys? Have you always wanted some sweet Mark Yoon merch? Maybe a Thick You shirt, maybe a shirt from Squirt, maybe my pretty face with my logo all over your body, or a throw pillow, or blanket, or anything? Well, you're in luck, because I just launched my merch store and it is going to be available on Redbubble, and you will find a link to it in my description box down below. It's got a lot of quality content and a lot of good stuff for you to pick up, so you can show your support for the channel and just rep Mark Yoon. Alright guys, as always, thank you.